Hello everyone, how's everybody doing? Good? So, in this time of my life, I was very new to cycling, and I decided to do a very long trip. It was about 25 miles. And I'm about 15 miles into the ride, and I'm feeling really good. I'm actually doing good. But all of a sudden, I get a flat tire. Now, mind you, like I said, I'm very new. I don't really know what to do. I don't have the proper tools. There's no one around me, and I don't really know my location. So I had to do the worst thing you can possibly do. I had to call my mom. That wasn't fun. So this speech is going to be very beneficial for you guys because I think it's going to help you out in certain situations, situations such as not being stranded in an unwanted destination, having to pay for transportation when you were planning not to. And John Forrester, a bicycle transportation engineer, submitted a article through MIT Press in 2012, and he said about 75% of cyclists will experience a flat tire in their lifetime. So today in my speech, I want to show you guys how to fix a flat tire. And the three essential ideas I'm going to be talking about today with you guys, the first one being, what tools do you need or recommended in order to fix a flat tire? The second one, I'm going to be showing you guys how to actually take the tube out and do your repairs. And the third idea, I'm going to be talking to you guys about how to actually put it back all together. So, the first one, what tools are needed or recommended in terms of fixing your flat tire? Well, it all depends on what kind of flat you have. So you're going to look at two things. You have a tube inside of this tire, and once you get that exposed, you're going to see what kind of puncture you have. If the puncture is really big, you're going to want to just throw that tube away and get a new one. Or if the puncture is really small, you're going to want to just use a patch kit repair. So there's going to be three things you guys I'd recommend you having on you at all times if you are riding a bike. The first one is this baby right here. It is a tool pouch. It's very beneficial for you guys. It holds many things, many great beneficial things in terms of overall bike maintenance. What you have here is you have tire relief levers, which takes off the tires. You have Allen key wrenches in here. You have your actual patch kit, and it can even hold an extra tube or two, and it can hold your wallet, keys, and cell phone. And this thing sits right behind your seat, so you don't see it, you don't feel it, it's really out of the way. So that's one of the things I recommend. The second thing I would like you guys to have is a bike pump. A bike pump this small, it could easily attach onto your bike through Velcro straps. And this bike pump, this is mine. This one has two different valve things that you insert the valves. Because there's two different valve types on bicycles. There's this one, which is a Presta valve, and there's your standard one, which I'm pretty sure all of you guys have seen. It's the short, more round one. It's called a preacher valve. And I keep a pump that has both of them, just in case like a buddy or maybe I'm riding a different bike that day, so I'm able to use both. And the last thing I recommend you guys having on you is a tube, a spare tube. I usually have 1 to 2 extra tubes on me. They're very affordable. They only average about $4 per tube. So it's very beneficial to have on you, just in case. Like I said, I carry two, just in, like if I get two flats, I'm gonna have two tubes to replace my tires. So now that we have our tools in set, now it becomes a process of actually taking the tube out of your tire. So we're going to use our imagination right now. We're going to pretend there's a bicycle right here, and obviously the wheel is attached to the bicycle. So our first step is taking the wheel off of the bicycle. We're going to have brake pads right here. It's going to be very obvious. And on the brake pads, you're going to see a little lever, and that releases the bike pressure, or the brake pad pressure, and that opens it up. So once that's released, you're going to look down to the very center of your wheel. This is your axle right here. And it's going to have a lever, as you can see. All you need to do is just relieve that axle lever, and it releases the pressure when it's attached to your fork on your bike. And from there, you can easily take off the wheel of your bicycle, and now begins the actual process of removing the tire from the rim. So you're going to grab, you can do this with your hands, but it hurts because it's really hard. Tire is obviously made to have a tight fit on the rim itself. So you're going to have these puppies. They're called tire releasers. And what you want to do is slowly push back. You're going to see that the tire is being released. Slide this in, push down it like so, and you're going to move the tire lever all the way across as such. And that obviously release the tension, the tire from the rim. Now, as soon as you have that in play, the second thing you guys want to do is feel the inside of your tire, because you might have some debris or maybe broken pieces of glass that actually caused the puncture. Obviously, be very careful at this stage because you can cut yourself. So what you want to do after this is actually remove your pad, which is underneath the tire. Give me a second here. So here's your tube. Fits right in there. Now, as I stated before, we're going to look at two things. First one, if the puncture is really big, you're going to throw this away. It can come right off and insert your new tube. If it's really small, the puncture is super small, all you have to do is get your patch kit. This is basically a Band-Aid for your tube. Apply it, wait like 15 minutes, and you can put it back in. So your second thing, once you have your repairs, you're going to want to slide it in, as you can do that. And that begins the process of putting it back in. So for my third one, you guys are going to want to, for my third essential idea, is putting it all back together. You're going to slide your tube in as like that. And you can do this by hand. You can easily clamp it back on. And after you've done that, you put your pump in the valve, put to your standard PSI. That's usually 80 to 130 PSI. The heavier the person, the more PSI you want. So a person like me, I'm going to use 130 PSI. And once that's in, you can just slide it back onto your fork. Make sure you put your brake levers back on, and you're ready to go. So in this speech, I talked to you guys about how to fix a flat tire. My 3 essential ideas. The first one is what tools are recommended, and the second one being is how to actually take the pump out, or how to take your tube out and do your repairs. And the third one is how to put it back together. And I think this is going to be very beneficial for you guys because it can really save you from having a really bad, messed up day. So, thank you.